What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some of the data points, break it down what's moving it, and go over everything else that you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So Lucid is showing some signs that it is alive, up 5.75%, 1127 the low, 1198 the high, and 3.9 million shares being traded. So another day that we're seeing kind of low volume. It's not just Lucid, it's again happening across the board. There's a couple of things that's really hyping up the broader market today. One is Micron's earnings came in absolutely stellar. So this is a iconic beat, triple beat. And if any aspect of their earnings was to have been gray or a miss, the market would have just crapped all over itself. So Micron essentially did save the broader market today. Plus, we also did get some good data. So initial jobless claims came in at 224 versus a forecast of 229. And then CPI year over year came in at 2.7 versus a forecast of 3%. And the market can actually take this as a true positive. And what I mean by that is the market's sometimes dumb and it wants a negative data point just to justify a rate cut. But in the eyes of the Feds, inflation isn't a big issue. Rather, it's more labor and housing. So in general, the market can actually take this for face value and not try to overthink it and want a negative data point. Hopefully that all makes sense. But nonetheless, good stuff did come out, really pushing things higher. For those of you that are new to the channel though, I always like to break it down on where volume actually comes from. So right now, again, 3.9 million in volume, you're not really seeing that much institutional transactions. So far, 3 on the secondary market, and regrettably, they are all sells. So institutions aren't really buying up Lucid right now. Biggest thing for Lucid and just again the broader market is algorithmic trading. So you can kind of see the flow right here. A lot of smaller transactions that is simply algorithmic trading, piggybacking off of everything that I just mentioned and really pushing things higher. So institutions are still hesitant, unfortunately, but nonetheless, I don't think anyone's complaining not having a new all-time high, because yesterday was a unique circumstance because we saw another new all-time low and also a new all-time high short interest. I might have said that wrong previously, but you guys get what I'm saying. So today there really hasn't been that much in SEC filings, press releases, or anything like that. But then again, we're in the official or like unofficial, I guess, blackout period, just the seasonal one where a lot of companies tend to not really put out any news. So not really worried that Lucid's not doing anything. Aside from that though, shorts. So shorts at the time doing this video, they are returning 407,000 shares. 33.22% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 43.29 million shares overall being shorted. So when it comes down to this, I actually started to look at some of this data, and it's kind of funny because I bring this up like every day, but shares on loan, 100.1 million, right? So that's crazy, very, very high. If we pop over here for a second, so free float, that is sitting at 130.3 million. So if BlackRock, Vanguard, every institution that owns Lucid, if everyone, every retail, you, I, your dog, if all of us lent out our shares, it is in theory going to be 130.3 million. So you're telling me that everyone, for the most part, is lending out their shares, and that's bringing it to 100 million. I find that very difficult to believe. So in reality, there most likely is some insiders of Lucid that are actually lending out their shares. So I know a lot of people in the comments, previous videos, it's probably just whatever, people don't actually mean it, saying, oh, the PIF is kind of on shorts' side. Honestly, someone is on shorts' side. Someone is lending shares out. So kind of crazy stuff in my opinion. So let me know your general thoughts on that in the comments below, and potentially who could it be? Could be as well the broker that maybe Lucid, such as Peter, Mark, Gagnon, and Tafik, and many others. Maybe it's the broker that they have their shares in, automatically just lend out shares, possibly. So yeah, that's kind of crazy stuff if you think about it. But aside from that, looking at the options, 912,000 in calls, 13 million in puts. 72% of all the options being done so far are bullish in nature. So between 920 and 925, there was 11.5 million in premiums. So for those of you that again watch my channel, you know that is extremely off or like abnormal. So ultimately you can kind of see from the timestamp it was a multi-leg transaction, one primarily bullish, two bearish, and so it looks like there is one right here, a put that was sold, a $20 strike price, and that is expiring tomorrow. Interestingly enough, they did receive $8.42 for a premium. So yeah, their break even is give or take like 11 and change. And then they do have some puts that they did purchase, which is seen as bearish. They paid $216 for the premium, so that is 2.2 million. So kind of crazy stuff. So it's essentially more of a kind of a hedge. They are buying at the current market price, but then again, they're kind of hedging more downside, I guess. That's one way to how to interpret this. These other two transactions are January 16th, 2026. Aside from that, from a bull standpoint, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around 1150 to 12, possibly even 1250. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub 1150. So definitely a lot more upside than down. Like I said, not that much in institutional transactions. Dark pool still relatively quiet, and that kind of matches as well with shorts not doing all that much. With it right now at 1168, it is trading between these 2 points. So this S2 and this S3. So still not out of danger in reality. So 1149 and then 1195 is going to be the next strong target / resistance points. Aside from all that fun stuff on the actual chart, despite a lot of kind of people on social media getting very hyped up about today's green day, it's still on the technicals, don't look like it's not good at all. Still below the 10-day moving average as well as a lot of the other ones. Stochastic RSI, I think this is also helping Lucid kind of move higher today, is because it's considered very oversold. So as you can kind of see in my thumbnail, like it's alive, which is good, not hitting another new low, but is this a buy? And for those of you again that like to kind of follow my channel, I do not like algorithmic trading. I see this as all hollow. Now whether it's up or down, right? Because when things are being artificially suppressed, like it's all hollow. But I think the moral of the story is all of this price action that has been happening with Lucid, and even technically right here, what happened in September when it went up quite considerably, that was algorithmic trading, really just moving Lucid higher with the broader market. Like you can make some good money off of that, but be aware things could change very, very fast. So even though today is a very green day, I don't think that we're kind of down and out of danger just yet. So maybe if you're one of those long-term investors, dollar cost average. I think that's kind of the way to go for Lucid. Although it is very, very frustrating of a stock. As I've always mentioned, I really love the product, but technically the stock, the management, it's just not great. Even looking at this chart, this puts it in perspective on how difficult it is. So legitimately, if you actually do believe in it, just dollar cost average. If you're trying to time the peak or the bottom, clearly there's been many people prior to this thinking with that mentality, and they have probably lost their asses, just even technically in the last year alone. So let me know your viewpoint on Lucid. Are you planning on buying more, selling? What's your overall kind of thoughts on everything that has been happening? And what do you think, aside from that, them hitting their targets ideally for 2025, what do you think the next big catalyst is? One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. Put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades. Worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.